the House to page 221 to 360 of my affidavit. And before I move there, I wish to clarify, and I want the ICT department to play the clip on bursary release of 297,500,000, Mr. Chair, for the previous financial year. Can we have that clip, please? This program, which is a key deliverable of my county government, has continued to play a central role in enabling bright but needy students to go to school. During the TIFA polls survey, we were ranked as number 1 in terms of bursary allocation with a lot of transparency. We released over 357 million in the first one of bursary allocation program since we took over. We are also in the process of releasing another 400 million to our schools within the Nairobi City County, to poor students residing in Nairobi City County, residing in the slums, wherever they are schooling, may it be Coast, Central, Western, Nyanza. We are in the process of releasing these important funds so that to enable our poor, bright students from the slums of Nairobi, various areas of Nairobi, to get quality education.
Majina ni Marian. Nilipata sponsorship kutoka kwa Sonko, and I really thank him because dad alikuwa amestruggle sana kwa hizo months kabla niingie shule. I really wanted to go to a national school, so na thank Sonko sana kwa hiyo bursary. Najua ndasoma na my aim is to get an A kwa KCSE, and I hope that achieve that goal ili ni make dad, mom na pia Sonko.
Mimi naitwa Steven Ngechu, mkaji wa Korokocho, na nafanya kazi ya kinyozi hapa tu Korokocho. Na furahi sana kwa sababu nikiwa katika harakati ya kazi yangu, mtoto wangu alikuwa anataka kufanya mtihani wa class 8. Na katika huo muda tulikuwa na wakati mgumu sana kwa sababu alikuwa mwerevu sana shuleni, na akanipromise kwamba anataka kwenda national school. Mwalimu wake pia akanikonfirmia kuna uwezekano mkubwa wa mtoto aende perform vizuri, sababu yeye ndiye alikuwa wanamwangalia shuleni. Na akaniambia, kwa sababu sikuwa na uwezo vile, sikutaka kumdiscourage. Nilimwambia tu afanye bidii, Mungu atafungua njia zake. Wakati mtihani ulitoka, akawa ndiye anaongoza kwa shule.
Okay, I think we can stop there in this instance of time.
Now, could you explain to the House, give background of this particular video, Your Excellency?
We have over 1,000 beneficiaries complimenting us on the disbursement of bursary to various beneficiaries, various schools countrywide, Mr. Speaker. But in the instance of time, I cannot play the entire clip, Mr. Speaker, honorable members.
When was this documentary taken?
This documentary was taken, even it was aired in various media stations around
around 6 months ago.
Now, in relation to bursary, would you like to state anything in terms of your relationship with the assembly members?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, honorable members. And before I move to that stage also, I wish to mention about a document, which I'll not table, Mr. Speaker, just for the record of the Hansard, just to mention about it, Mr. Speaker. It is a satisfied bank account statement from Cooperative Bank, Mr. Speaker, showing that funds amounting to 297,500,000, Mr. Chair, honorable members, were transferred from the CRF account to the Cooperative Bank account for financial year 2018-2019. And it clearly explains and shows all the beneficiaries, the schools and students, Mr. Speaker, to the tune of 297 million. And because we were denied a chance of producing this document, Mr. Speaker, I'm just talking about it. And we have 80 copies as advised by the Office of the Clerk, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the mover of the motion was trying to divert the real issues, Mr. Speaker. When he was talking about their checks, which I refused to release, Mr. Speaker. It is true, Mr. Speaker. There are checks we refuse to release because, Mr. Speaker, there are some members of the County Assembly who opened a fake educational institution at River Road. And this, Mr. Speaker, has been happening since 2019 during my predecessor's time, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this institution was called Kobudo.
Which year did you mention during the
Since the period of my predecessor, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, from 2013 to 2017, I unearthed this scandal in 2018, Mr. Speaker. It is a very sad story, Mr. Speaker. The directors of this fake school were wives and relatives of MCS. And Mr. Speaker, they were getting checks from even CDF accounts of various constituencies, Mr. Speaker, countrywide and in Nairobi. And Mr. Speaker, to prove those allegations, Mr. Speaker, on page 221, we have a memo.
That's 221 of the 10H, Mr. Speaker.
We have a self-explanatory memo, Mr. Speaker, from the officer from DCI attached at the county offices, Mr. Speaker, Superintendent Eunice Maingi, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the letter is self-explanatory. I'll just go through it in the interest of time, Mr. Speaker. The memo is addressed to me after I complained to the DCI that we need to investigate this Kobudo school, Mr. Speaker. The memo is addressed to me, Mr. Chair, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, and it is dated 7th December 2018, Mr. Chair. Reference number, Mr. Chair, is 11A/2/4/5/1/volume 3 999 of 2018, Mr. Speaker. And the reference, because a police file was opened by DCI, police file number 111-548, Mr. Chair, stroke 2018, and there is a court file because the suspects were arrested, arraigned in court, and that matter is ongoing.
What's the document? What's the document at page 221?
The document, Mr. Speaker, in the process of the court case file is 1892, 2018, to the details of the offense. Forgery of official documents contrary to section 345 as read with section 349 of the Penal Code. Accused, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, Job, Omondi, Mark, Ibondo, and 3 others. Mr. Speaker, I'll not read the entire letter, but briefly, paragraph 2. Briefly, during the month of September 2018, information was received to this office that there is a community-based organization operating in the name and style of Kobuzo Educational Center. It was defrauding the county government by forging bursary checks. Investigations commenced, and the investigators obtained court warrants to investigate the accounts of the community-based organization housed in Cooperative Bank of Kenya Limited and the county government development account housed at Cooperative Bank City Hall branch, Mr. Chair, honorable members. In the course of investigations, we established the directors of Kobuzo Educational Center are as follows, Mr. Chair, Mr. Speaker. 1, Job Mark Omondi Imboko. This is a county government staff I inherited from the previous administration, working under the Department of Water, Mr. Chair. 2, Mr. Chair, Francis Odhiambo Ouma, a personal assistant to the MCA Karen, who is the ODM chair Karen. 3, Mr. Speaker, Quinsta Adhiambo Ouma, wife to the PA of MCA, Mr. Speaker. 4, Mr. Speaker, Nancy Nasimiu, wife to the first accused. This is the DCI, Mr. Speaker, not Sonko. In the course of investigations, we established Francis Ouma is a personal assistant of MCA Karen. Investigations were extended to both Cooperative Bank of Kenya and Equity Bank. And we obtained original checks and image checks, account opening documents for Nairobi County government and that of the suspects, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, in Equity Bank, the investigators obtained 77 original checks, the ones the mover was complaining why I have not released them, Mr. Chair. And the checks were drawn by Nairobi City County government, and on critically looking at them, they were all forged, Mr. Chair. All forged. I'll come to that, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, in Cooperative Bank, we obtained 129 image checks drawn in favor of this fake school which does not exist, called Kobuzo Educational Center, Mr. Chair. Investigators are saying we further established the suspects obtained money from county government up to the tune of 4.5 million shillings. Mr. Chair, I'll just go to the main points in the interest of time. After establishing the identity of the suspects, DCI, we involved the services of criminal intelligence personnel from CID headquarters. And on the 5th day of October at 3 a.m., we apprehended the accused persons. We conducted search in their houses and recovered 67 original checks drawn in favor of different schools within the county. 113 bursary application forms in the names of different applicants within Karen Ward. And 2 payment vouchers originating from Nairobi County government. Mr. Chair, honorable members, after investigations, the suspects were charged. The handwriting and specimen signatures of the 4 suspects were taken and forwarded to the document examiner at CID headquarters to ascertain were taken and forwarded to the, to ascertain whether the accused persons were the authors of the checks, and we are yet to receive the report, Mr. Speaker. These are some of the witnesses, Mr. Speaker. DCI officers, we wanted to bring them to testify, but in the interest of time, the report is here, authenticated, suspects are in court, charges are there, Mr. Chair. But this is a very important memo. Let me just finish, Mr. Chair, because I'm on the last paragraph. Mr. Chair, the suspects were arraigned in court. These relatives of MCS arraigned in court on 8th October 2018. They pleaded not guilty to all the charges. They were released on cash bail of 400,000 or alternative surety of $500,000. Case is marked for mention at Milimani Locus on 5th January, locus number 5, on 5th January 2019, with a view of fixing a hearing date, which was fixed, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, the DCI is putting a note in my memo of the 7th December 2018. He's saying, she's saying, because she's a woman, the case requires traveling because we have witnesses in Homa Bay County and some areas of Rift Valley. Therefore, we require urgent facilitation to enable us move with speed and cover what is remaining before the hearing date, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, moving to the next page, page 223. These proxies of MCAs were charged, as I said before. The case file, police file number, I repeat, 11-548-2018, Mr. Chair. And the details of the suspects are there. The relatives of MCAs are there. Description, gender, male, tribe, Luo, female, Luya. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the offenses are self-explanatory. Offense number 1, conspiracy to defraud, contrary to section 317 of the Penal Code.
Offense number 2?
Let me go first to the details of the charges.
Perhaps, Your Excellency, we would, in the interest of time, we would wish to refer to the document appearing on page 223, all the way to 230. No, not 230, 228. What document is that?
These are
223?
These are from 223 first to 226. These are various counts, various charges which were preferred.
What document is that?
Sorry?
What document is that appearing on
These
page?
are charge sheets.
A charge sheet.
Okay, it's a charge sheet with so many counts,
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members.
Yes, and there are other documents referred to at page 227 and 228.
I think before I go there, there's a
Yes.
important message I want
Carry on.
to raise here.
Carry on.
Maybe the
Excellency.
details of the charge, Mr. Chair, honorable, Mr. Speaker, honorable members. Okay, accused, already we have the names, but the details of the charges, Mr. Speaker, on the diverse dates between 30th May 2016, Mr. Speaker, before I became the governor of Nairobi, this scandal was there. Taxpayers' money was being swindled in Nairobi City County government, Mr. Speaker. So, on diverse dates, between 30th May 2016, during my predecessor's time, Mr. Speaker, and 13th September, my first month in office, 2017. Meaning I'm the one who stopped this scandal during my time. But it was ongoing. We were losing government funds from during the last administration's time. So between May 30, 2016 and 13 September 2017, at a known place within the Republic of Kenya, jointly with others not before court, because there are even some MCAs who are supposed to be charged with these suspects, Mr. Speaker. I don't know why up to date they have not been arrested. The current MCA and 10 more MCAs who have not been charged and arrested, Mr. Speaker, due to political interference. So let me proceed with the details of the charges, Mr. Chair. Jointly with others not before court, by deceit and fraudulent means, conspired to defraud Nairobi City County government a sum of 3,225,000 by forging bursary checks purporting them to have been issued by Ekaya Alumasi, who was our chief officer, finance, and Martha Wambugu, accountants working with the Nairobi City County government, a fact you knew to be false. That is count number one, Mr. Speaker. I'll not go to all the counts, but all these offenses, Mr. Speaker, started during the previous administration's time. But I think there are some important details, maybe member will read for themselves. So they were charged with account 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's page 225, page 226, Mr. Chair, honorable members. There's another count also. Until charge account 9. But some charges are very, 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 very important to this case, Mr. Speaker. And because yesterday there were some grievous allegations which were made by the mover of this motion. So, Mr. Speaker, you'll allow me also to do a clarification on the scandal by MCAs who are diverting public funds for poor students to benefit themselves and their wives and families, Mr. Speaker. So you'll allow just to do a clarification, because after banking these checks to their fake school, they used to withdraw the money in cash from various banks, various branches in Nairobi City County, Mr. Speaker. So there are some charges where these proxies, wives of MCAs, used to go and withdraw these charges. I think I'll find it in one of the counts which are here. So count 2, on the 5th day of October.
Look at page 234.
234. 234.
Yes, of that particular document.
It's a bank statement, but I wanted first to we move systematically, page by page, right, as we reach there. So because we want to prove our case beyond reasonable doubt, Mr. Chair. Okay, page 227, Mr. Chair, Mr. Speaker, honorable members. These are checks, number of check numbers of the diverted checks, which were drawn by the county and diverted and banked to this Kobudo educational account. And because this scandal involved various banks, withdrawals, and we needed to save the county from being swindled, bursary fund, Mr. Chair, we had to involve the Central Bank of Kenya. We have a DCA department at the Central Bank of Kenya, Mr. Chair. And I just want to refer the House to page 229, Mr. Chair, a letter from Banking Fraud Investigation Department, reference DCI, stroke BFI, stroke SEC, stroke 4, stroke 4, stroke volume 3, no, volume 30, no, 308, Mr. Chair, stroke 25, dated August 13th, 14th August 2018. The letter is addressed to us, County Secretary, County Government of Nairobi, and attention to the Chief Officer, Finance, and Chief Officer, Legal Department, Mr. Chair. Reference BFID, inquiry number 479 of 2018. Suspect